All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're breaking down the absolutely epic, chronological journey of a reincarnated red dragon who literally has to fight his way back to the very top. We've taken the source material and distilled the massive battles, the crazy power scaling, and some seriously brilliant plot twists into one clear, action-packed story.
So imagine this wild premise for a second. What actually happens when the world's most terrifying, magic-wielding dragon gets reincarnated as a totally powerless human baby? For thousands of years, this fierce creature survived completely alone, holding this deep, burning hatred for humanity after they wiped out his kind. But then, in a crazy cosmic twist of fate, the exact moment he dies, boom, he opens his eyes and finds himself reborn as a helpless little infant named Rei.
And honestly, this is the ultimate irony of his whole reincarnation. Like, think about his past. He was this massive, terrifying force of nature, commanding ultimate magic and wanting to just wipe out humanity. But now, his new reality is, well, it's a tiny baby who can't even cast a basic spark. And the funniest part, he's being raised by these incredibly kind human parents, Jake and Scarlet. Even though his inner monologue is constantly swearing vengeance, he absolutely adores his new parents and totally eats up all the pampering.
Now, tracking his early years is honestly super frustrating for him. At age 2, he takes this magic aptitude test and just completely bombs it. The crystal doesn't glow even a little bit, which absolutely crushes his dragon pride. So, realizing his human body has basically zero mana, he pivots. At age 4, he begs his dad to teach him swordsmanship. The thing is, his mind is incredibly sharp. He remembers centuries of high-level combat, but his clumsy, tiny human body is seriously struggling to keep up with what he wants to do.
But then, right at age 5, everything totally changes. He gets caught in a deadly demonic wolf attack in the forest and barely survives trying to protect a village girl. But as he manages to kill the beast, a mysterious dragon system just pops up in his vision. You guys, this is a total game changer for his power. Suddenly, he's earning beast crystals, he unlocks the blessing of the dragon's eye to actually see stats, and get this, he even gains the ability to tame magical beasts and store them inside his own body.
Just as Rei is finally figuring out how to level up, tragedy hits hard. His dad, Jake, comes back from a mission infected by the Plague of Shadows. Now, this is a devastating, incurable dark magic infection. It literally turns its victims into violent, mindless monsters within a year. And right here, this is a massive narrative turning point. Rei's whole motivation shifts entirely. It's no longer just this vague, lingering revenge against humanity. It becomes a desperate, laser-focused mission to find a high-tier cure to save his dad.
So, to actually get his hands on that cure, Rei knows he needs access to higher-tier beast crystals and way more advanced magic. And the only place to get that is the super elite Avarian Knight Academy. But getting in? It's no walk in the park. The entrance exams are brutal. He has to survive 5 trials, testing everything from raw physical strength to walking through magical fire and showing extreme precision. And remember, he has to pull all this off while noble-born knights are constantly looking down on him.
But here's where Rei proves he's basically playing 4D chess. Most kids would show off to get the prestigious white belt, right? Not Rei. He intentionally bombs just enough to land the lowest academy rank, a red belt. Why on earth would he do that? Well, because the strict instructors basically ignore the red belts. It's a brilliant lone wolf strategy. By flying completely under the radar, he gets the ultimate freedom to sneak out of class and secretly farm beast crystals to level up his dragon system.
Of course, staying under the radar doesn't mean he's just going to take abuse. When some upper-class bullies at the dining hall start messing with his friend and insulting his red hair, which the locals super superstitiously think is a curse, Rei snaps. Literally. He might be hiding his true magical abilities, but he grabs a senior bully and snaps his arm right in front of the whole room. He makes his defining rule crystal clear. When someone treats you like dirt, you make absolutely sure they pay for it.
Okay, but here's the catch. Physical strength alone isn't going to be enough against top-tier beasts. Enter Elder Vaughn. He's this eccentric, wildly muscular old guy who runs an abandoned martial arts club at the academy. He introduces Rei to Qi, or Qi. By mastering these specific breathing techniques, Rei can supercharge his physical body. Since his mana channels were practically empty anyway, tapping into this internal energy is exactly what he needed. It finally lets him unleash his monstrous, overpowered potential without even needing traditional magic.
To really put this into perspective, watch what happens to his power scaling here.
He goes from being a relatively weak child to a decent swordsman, but the second he masters Chi and throws on a gift from Elder Vaughn, these amazing shape-shifting dragon turtle gauntlets, his stats just go completely off the charts. We're talking blocking massive broadswords with his bare forearms and channeling explosive fiery Chi directly into his punches. It's insane.
But, just as Rei is really settling into this awesome new power level, a massive threat starts bubbling up from inside the academy itself. We suddenly have to ask, who is actually trying to destroy the Allure Kingdom? Instructors are acting super shady, shadow beasts are spawning way too close to the borders, and someone is clearly taking aim at the academy's leadership.
Well, the answer is the Dark Guild. And their conspiracy is utterly terrifying, mostly because it's happening right under the teachers' noses. They're infiltrating the academy, secretly handing out these purple potions that instantly warp students into shadow monsters. On top of that, they're plotting to assassinate the Six Elders, all to bring down the entire Allure Kingdom. They're literally forcing teenagers into these horrific life-or-death scenarios.
The stakes hit an absolute boiling point during the Avarian Academy tournament. This is supposed to be the big event where students show off for the nobles. But out of nowhere, the arena gets completely ambushed. The Dark Guild blows up the stands and unleashes a horde of shadow-infected beasts right into the crowd. The teachers get completely cut off, meaning these second-year students are suddenly forced into a literal war zone to protect each other and the city.
Right in the middle of this absolute chaos, Rei comes face to face with Mothram. He's this horrifying armored general of the Dark Guild who uses a unique lightning skill, making him move at literally blinding speeds. Even with Rei's insane combat IQ letting him read the electrical currents to predict the attacks, Mothram hits him with a chilling truth. Understanding the skill just won't be enough to stop him, because knowing a punch is coming means nothing if your body isn't fast enough to dodge it.
But guys, this is where Rei's genius battle IQ truly shines. He's completely drained of mana, pushed to the absolute brink. Then he realizes his system can actually absorb external energy. So he turns to his massive muscle-bound buddy Jay and essentially borrows his strength. Rei absorbs Jay's raw mana and instantly converts it to multiply his own chi. The result? He erupts into a literal firestorm. It's an incredible moment where he completely overwhelms the Lightning General with just raw, unpredictable, fiery power.
All right, so you think the battle's won, right? Nope, we get hit with a massive cliffhanger twist. While Rei is recovering, an ancient god pulls him into a vision, warning him about a dark future. And the second he wakes up, bam! A senior student named Molly, who, it turns out, was secretly infected by the shadows, stabs him right in the back with a deadly neurotoxin. Betrayed from within his own ranks, Rei is just left bleeding out on the floor.
So they rush him to the hospital, and the doctors are 100% expecting him to die. I mean, how does a red-haired kid survive a fatal neurotoxin and heal his body almost instantly? It makes no medical sense. The doctors are completely baffled by this beast-like recovery. But for us, it drops this massive, awesome hint. His lingering dragon constitution is kicking in. His fragile human body is finally starting to adapt to his immensely powerful dragon soul.
While Rei is stuck recovering in a hospital bed, the real nightmare kicks off. Remember Mothram? Yeah, he totally faked his defeat. It turns out he was disguised as one of the Academy Elders the entire time. He violently murders the head elder and opens a secret underground passage right through the legendary Dragon Knight's tomb. Using this tunnel, the Dark Guild launches a full-scale apocalyptic invasion, just flooding the city streets with endless hordes of magic beasts.
The sheer chaos here is unbelievable. The main city gate gets blown to pieces, and there's a literal mammoth demon rampaging through the streets, trampling everything. While his friend Sylvia steps up big time, showing some incredible leadership to rally the terrified knights and hold the front line, Rei knows they can't win a battle of attrition. The situation is beyond desperate, so Rei's squad steps up as the main defenders, rushing underground to seal the passage right at the source.
And this leads to arguably the most cinematic moment of the whole story. Down in the tomb, Rei runs into Glack, a legendary ancient wyvern. At first, the wyvern looks down on Rei like he's just some pathetic human bug. So what does Rei do? He completely flexes. He opens his mind and lets the wyvern peek into his past life memories, revealing his true soul as the almighty red dragon. Terrified and totally awestruck, this legendary beast just immediately bows down, handing Rei an overwhelmingly powerful ally.
Surviving this insane siege actually triggers another evolution in his dragon system, the contract ability. Realizing he really can't fight this massive war alone, Rei officially puts together his own elite badass squad, the Crimson Wings. You've got Rei leading under the alias Ness, Jay acting as the unstoppable muscle, the highly coordinated twins Sloth and Badger, Sylvia as the brilliant tactician and shield, and of course his loyal core friends Gary and Monk. Together, they are an absolute force.
And the best part? Once the city is temporarily secured, the Crimson Wings don't just sit around waiting. They start hearing these rumors about thugs and corrupt nobles out in the border towns using the Crimson Wings' name to terrorize innocent people. So, instead of playing defense, Rei and his crew leave the academy walls behind. They head straight out into the dangerous world to hand out some brutal, hands-on justice.
And let me tell you, justice is exactly what they deliver. When they finally track down these imposters harassing a local tavern, Rei does not hold back even a little bit. He makes a terrifying, fiery example out of the group's leader, literally burning him alive in a flash. His message is absolute. Anyone pretending to be Crimson Wings is going to pay for it. He proves to the entire world and the Dark Guild that nobody disrespects his new family or drags their name through the mud.
So we're gonna wrap up this explainer right as the board is fully set for an all-out war. Think about it. Rei has evolved from a frustrated, magicless little infant into this commanding chi master with a legendary beast and a fiercely loyal elite squad at his back. But the Dark Guild is still out there plotting, and his father is still infected with the Plague of Shadows. It really makes you wonder, right? Just how high will Rei's power actually scale, and what kind of epic, world-shaking battles are waiting for the Crimson Wings next?